Yo, what's good? So let's listen to how adding just like a few extra organic layers can make a huge difference in a track. So I'm gonna play this full track with all the layers, and then I'll just mute on and off these organic layers, and you'll be able to hear how much life is lost when I mute these layers. And now I'll bring them back in. So I love doing this in my own tracks recently, just adding a few real instruments and real drum layers on top of the electronic ones. It just brings the track to life. So let me talk about how I do this and how you can do this in your own tracks. So let's start by talking about the bass guitar in this track. So that's just a bass patch I made in Serum. So it sounds cool, but it doesn't have any soul to it. So I thought it would be nice to layer like an actual real bass on top of that. So what I did is take this real bass from Kontakt, like these are all real bass samples from this Kontakt instrument, and that layer sounds like this. So how much more real and organic does that sound? So it's cool to blend that with the original electronic bass. So how I blended them together was I just added this EQ to that real bass. And then I actually ran it through a guitar amp just to give it even more of a live feeling. And another cool trick is actually to put a guitar amp like this on electronic sounds. So like if we take our other bass and then we run that through a guitar amp, it gives it a really cool vibe. Like it just makes it sound more alive. But anyway, let me just mute this real bass layer on and off so you can hear the difference it's making. It sounds so sick, right? And let me talk about how I do the same thing for the drum layers. So the original drums sounded like this. And then once I just add in a few organic layers, so the first thing I'm doing is with the kick. I started with this more electronic sample, but then I layered in this actual real kick sample. So then I'll add that onto the electronic kick. It just gives the kick a depth that it didn't really have before. It's like adding another dimension to your track. Then I also had this snare and clap that I thought sounded pretty good. But to make those feel more alive, I wanted to add this hand clap layer in. So in this loop, no two claps are the same, so it makes it sound a lot more natural when I add that on top of the other snare and clap. So again, it's just a small change to elevate the drums a little more. Then the last two layers I added were these two. So it's just a real hat loop to keep the beat and keep the rhythm going. And then we have this ride. And you'll hear how that layer just adds like a nice sparkle and brightness on top of everything else. So let me mute these extra drum layers on and off so you can hear the difference. And now that you know how everything was layered in, let's do a before and after in the entire track. I did also just drop my new organic house drum sample pack at bigzsounds.com. So go check that out if you're interested. Thank you guys for watching. Catch you next time. Peace.